Good morning. Hello. Hey there. As you know, at the beginning of these videos, there's not anybody on yet. I've got to give it a minute for Facebook to let everyone know I'm here live. So I'll chat for a minute, and I'm sure at least Hayden will be on here soon. I always know I have at least one listener, you know, your mom and your kids, right? So she'll be on here soon. This is first of all, I'll just talk about the interview with Joel last weekend. It was so, it was exciting for one. He is just an open book. He's really willing. Oh, good. It's Hayden. Yay. Hi, Hayden. He's really willing to share all his knowledge, things that have worked, and I was really lucky. Oh, good. We have someone else on here live, so people are starting to show up. Click the like button. That way I know who's here. Or say hi. Love to see you guys on here. But anyway, Joel was just great. So willing to share. Talking about farm marketing is not his typical subject anymore. You know, maybe it was in the early days, but now he mostly appears to talk to groups about what's happening with our food system and all of that. So it was really nice of him to agree to do it, and I'm very happy to have this information, and it's helping so many farmers. And so he and I chatted this week by email, and he just said he was very happy to oblige and to help and to give all this information. All right, so again, if you're watching this video, be sure to click like so I can see who it is. I love, you know, we've got like 750 people in this group, and we just started it, and so many of you are so active, so I feel like I'm getting to know a lot of you. All right, so this week's question, though, kind of came as a result of, well, a few things. Joel Salatin's interview, and also the Legal Defense Fund, which I'm on the board for. We're spending time at Mother Earth News conferences all over the U.S., and people are coming up to the booth and asking questions. And a really common question now that is being asked, and I'm getting emails about, is now that the farmer's market season is over, my freezer is full of, you know, frozen chickens. I've gotten chickens, beef, and milk so far, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have other things in your freezer too, and you're wondering, what do you do with them? And one poor lady said she has been doing this for a lot of years. It happens every year. And she basically starved between now and February or March. So this is really too bad. Hey, Matt, glad to see you're here. We're slowly getting more people. So people are wondering what to do when market season is over and their freezer is full of product. So there's a few things that I can help you with. I can give you solutions, but what you have to know is these are temporary solutions. First of all, when you go to a farmer's market, it really should be from a place, a mindset that you are there strictly to get those people on your email list that we teach you how to do in our course that's going on right now. That is the mindset. Whether it's a farmer's market or in your store or wherever you are, even if you're out at an event, you're getting people on your email list because that's the only way you can build relationship with them, and the only way that then they will come back and buy from you. Unfortunately, most people go to the farmer's market with the intention of selling whatever it is they have at hand. So if they take a trailer full of eggs and vegetables, they're there to sell that trailer full of eggs and vegetables, and that's it. Well, you've missed out on 95% of your income, you know, your potential income by not getting every single one of those people on your email list, because otherwise there's no reason for them to shop with you. So, and especially again at the farmer's market or through the winter. So if you had done that all summer and all the farmer's market season, you would have no problem moving those products all winter. But you didn't do that. So we're going to backtrack a little bit. But because now you should be preparing for next season. So for next season, you need to have a plan in place to get everybody, or at least, you know, a large percentage of them on your email list when they come up to you. And that just goes, you know, yes, you're having a transaction, you have to sell something in the moment, but the bigger emphasis should be chatting with them, asking them about themselves, you know, finding out what their interests are, finding out what your food products do for them, and then asking them to join your email list to get the freebie that you give them when they join, such as a free cookbook or a free health report or something like that. So set yourself up for success next year. Otherwise, you won't be around long term, by getting your email list in place and your marketing plan where you're building relationship with them by emailing them once a month from here to eternity to sell to be able to sell through the winter. We don't really have a slowdown. Our farm store, actually other farmers will say, oh, it's January, so we're really slow, therefore you must be so slow, it's so terrible. We don't slow down. We have people coming to buy meat from us year round. Even, you know, a lot of meat producers around us have hardly any sales in January. Well, even December, January, February, and we don't. We are steady year round because of this relationship-based marketing. So get that in place for next year. Otherwise, you'll just keep suffering. Now, what you can do this year is, this is a temporary fix for this year because, or for right now. I'm going to give you some ideas that are temporary because you can't afford to do them long term. You're going to have to go get out of your comfort zone. You need to go where your tribe is, go where your people are. Many farmers make the mistake of thinking, if I produce this really awesome product, people will find me. And they email me and they say, how can I get more people to find me? Well, that's not going to happen unless you have these other things in place. So you've got to go to your where your tribe is. Here's a few things that you can work on right now. For one, let's see, find out what your customers, where are they hanging out? What is their interest? Are they Weston Price people? If they are, and even if they aren't, if you don't know where they hang out, maybe this is a good place to start anyway. Find a local Weston Price chapter and find the chapter leader. Our local one in Portland is very active. They already do monthly potlucks. If you have a local one that doesn't do a monthly potluck, ask them to host a gathering in their home, a Weston Price gathering. You're going to be there and you're going to give a short presentation on whatever it is you produce. You know, whatever's in your freezer you have to sell. You're going to explain, you know, the health benefits or what it will do for them. And then you're going to bring some of that. If that were me and it were pork, I'd do a big old chili verde in the crock pot because that's cheap. It uses a cheaper cut of pork. It tastes amazing when it's pastured pork. And you're there and make sure you have information on how they can get that pork roast from you, because they will taste it, they will meet you, they will hear your story or hear about the meat, and they will want to buy it right there. So you've got to get in front of these people. You can do that same technique. I have friends who have things like book clubs, and in their book club, it's health-related book club. So you can just ask, hey, can I come to your book club meeting next month and bring a dish, you know, and maybe this time it's beef, maybe it's again, use a cheaper cut. So you're going to use hamburger or beef roast, you're going to make meatballs, or you're going to make a chili Colorado or something like that, or some kind of stew thing that you could serve in little cups. And you're going to share your story and share your product. But you've got to start giving your product away to the people who are influencers in your community, and you've got to start getting out there. And remember, I said this is temporary. This is for this season right now because you're stuck. But you've got to make your plan for next year so this doesn't happen again, because this is a very expensive way to move your product. If you can, let's see, where else have I talked? The local library. Our local library hosted a gathering of people who are foodies, people who are interested in food, and they had all sorts of speakers. And I spoke there and got all sorts of customers off of that. So you've got to get your product out there, which means you host, find a place that will host you. Here's another example. One of my customers, we don't sell lamb. One of my customers had a friend of hers start a lamb business, so she hosted a lamb tasting last summer, or actually summer before last. She invited all her friends, you know, the friend invited the friends, and she invited the lamb people. They cooked her lamb 3 ways, And it was just like they served wine, they had lamb sausages, and, you know, they had, again, 3 different lamb dishes. People got to visit. It was more of a social gathering, but she walked away with all sorts of orders. And the other thing is, because it was my customer and my friend and she invited me, I wasn't there to market my stuff. I didn't say who I was or what I did, but I walked away with people ordering half hogs and quarter beef and coming out to the farm store, and lifelong customers, just because I was there at a social event and people are saying, oh, what do you do? And when they found out what I did and that the hostess was my customer, and the hostess they loved and trusted, they were ready to buy from me. So I did not go there expecting to get business, but I did. So you've got to get out of your comfort zone and meet people and use some of your product. The other thing you can do is go back to some customers who already bought from you. So I had someone email me and she said, help, can you sell us, or can you help us sell our chickens? We have 1,000 in their walk-in freezer. I think I've said this before, that in Oregon, our average pastured chicken is $25. It means they have $25,000 sitting in their walk-in freezer right now. And that, which means they're going to have a hard time getting set up for next year. They're going to have a hard time, you know, getting the new chicken tractors they build and getting the chicks and getting the feed for next year, because all that money's tied up. So go back to those people who bought chickens from you. Give them a couple more chickens. Say, thank you so much for being a customer last year. Loved meeting you, loved getting to know you. I'd love for you to have these free chickens. And by the way, I have all these extra chickens this winter. Do you have the names of 2 or 3 of your friends who would really appreciate them, that I could give? You know, you can give chickens to them. You can give one to your friend to give to them. You could have your friend reach out by email or phone and tell them about that. So again, this is outside of your comfort zone, but you've got to get that product moving. Let's see, what else? You can also take your customers from last summer, you know, last season, invite them to coffee. You could host a little gathering in your home if you didn't. So we do farm tours, but this time of year it's really yucky out. But what I will do is, when I give a farm tour, if you have the capability, or if you have an indoor, like if you have your cow that is milked inside the barn and you can host and have people there, invite some people over to watch the milking process and make something out of your product to give them to, you know, eat or whatever for free. Someone mentioned they had a freezer full of frozen milk. Well, I'm wondering, why can't you make cheese out of that frozen milk? I make soft cheese out of frozen milk, and try to move some of that product. So get people to your home or your farm, serve them the product, and make sure that they know how to purchase it. So again, let's see, I've given you lots of ideas to give product away in order to move it this season, but that is not a long-term fix. You've got to have a mindset of going to the farmers markets with the intention of getting those people on your email list to build relationship with them. And even that going to the farmer's market is to build relationship, not to sell your product that day. That's secondary to getting those people on your email list, because those aren't your customers. When you're at a farmer's market and people are purchasing from you, they're not on your email list. Those are not your customers. Those are the farmer's market's customers. So when the farmer market brings another vendor in there that does what you do, they're going to buy from them, because those are the market's customers. The only way to make those your customers and loyal to your products is to get them on your email list and you build a relationship with them. And what that means is you come from a place of giving. Because remember, when I look at a lot of farmers' Facebook pages on here, it talks all about, here's our beef, we're moving our beef today, our beef are going to market today, order your beef here, you can buy our beef here. It's all about your product, and that's not going to work to sell your product on your Facebook page. It has to be giving. So again, your mindset is, what can you give to your customers that's free to you? It might be inspirational, educational, a how-to, lists and checklists. You know, how can you give to your customers to build relationship for weeks and weeks or months, and then offer them something to sell? Stephanie asks, what about having an end of season sale on your product? Stephanie, if you've listened to my other videos and read my blog posts, I'm not a proponent of small farms doing sales. Again, that's like a short-term temporary fix, because what you do is you train people to wait for your sale. So therefore, every single marketing you do has to be a sale, or you will realize that you have fewer and fewer customers. So if you have to do that this year, you can certainly have an end of season sale. But I don't recommend that be part of your marketing plan. That can be a temporary fix. And then again, you've got to work on your marketing plan for next year, because the profit margins on our products are so low, so it's hard to offer coupons and sales and make money. And then you just teach people to wait. They think, I'm not going to buy my beef until November when Stephanie decides to have a sale, because I know they do that every year. So try not to teach people. You teach people to wait for a sale when you do that. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. I'm glad that makes sense. If anyone else has any questions on this, please ask. So let's see. At our farm tours, like I said, I always have a big pot of chile verde or chile colorado or something that's easy for me to make. I have the recipe sitting there. They get a free sample. They don't get a big plate full of it. They get a sample. And guess what? Most of the people leave our farm tour with all the tools, all the ingredients to make that dish, all the ingredients that we sell in our farm store. If it's bone broth and a roast, they go out with 2 or 3 roasts and a couple containers of bone broth. So when you get your food out in front of these people for free, and they taste how good it is, and then they meet you and they hear your story, they're going to buy. You will have a certain percentage of them that will buy. Okay, so you've got to build a relationship with them. So let me just sum up. Your idea of going to a farmer's market, your mindset is to get people on your email list by building relationship with you, because those are not your customers. They're the market's customers until they're on your list. Then that list, because you are emailing them every 3 or 4 weeks year round, they will be your customer through the winter, and you won't have very much of a lull in sales at all. And so that's your long-term plan for next week. Create your email list. We teach you how to do it free, and then learn how to engage with them, not sell. You don't go in with a mindset of selling, but you go in with a mindset of giving to them. And then this time next year, you will still have as many customers buying your products, even though the market has closed down. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any more questions, let me know. To rewatch the Joel Salatin video, he talks about some of these ideas. Rewatch my webinar, which is now, it's expired, but it's on my website. When you sign up, you get that for free. It's about an hour long, and it will talk about how you have to build relationship with these people. And right now, just start pulling that product out of your freezer and making some things up and connecting with people so that you can move it now and get some of your money back now, so that you can start, preparing for next year. So get a marketing plan and get that money, or get that product moving out of your freezer for right now. So and Stephanie, here's a good point too. Rather than a discount, I would give more, instead of that discount, give more product away for free. All right, to get your product in front of more people and get more people eating it. So maybe one of your other customers will host a gathering for you, 10 of their friends or something. You provide the meat and they will host the gathering. You could even provide the meat and wine or something like that, or beer, whatever works, and build relationship with them. All right, so hopefully that helps. We have got so many wonderful videos built up in our files section on this Facebook page. So there's all kinds of info. Also, any other questions, you can post them in the group here or email. And I will talk to you all in the Facebook group, but also next week. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a super weekend.